Dopamine. Your brain has a reward button. Every time something good happens, it gets pressed. You eat something delicious, it gets pressed. You finish something hard, it gets pressed. Someone laughs at your joke, it gets pressed. Small press, good feeling. That's the whole system. Simple, effective, kept humans alive for hundreds of thousands of years. Porn walks in and sits on the button. Permanently. It delivers a dopamine hit so large, so fast, and so effortless that your brain genuinely doesn't know what happened. Porn gives you the reward without the work, the effort, the waiting, or even leaving the couch. Your brain is like a dog that just discovered it can press a lever for treats forever. Nothing else is interesting anymore. So your brain slowly recalibrates. It raises the baseline. Normal good things stop feeling good because the reward button has been pressed so hard for so long that a gentle tap doesn't register anymore. Food tastes bland. Hobbies feel pointless. Real conversations feel slow. A sunset does absolutely nothing for you. You're not depressed. You're just a dog who found the treat lever and now thinks hunting is boring. The scary part is, this process has no alarm, no notification, no moment where your brain sends you a warning that says, hey, you're losing the ability to enjoy your actual life. It just happens quietly in the background while you mistake the numbness for normalcy. Tolerance. Your brain is incredibly smart. Too smart, actually. When something hits it too hard too often, it protects itself by becoming less sensitive to it. Less sensitivity means the same amount of stimulation produces less response. So you need more stimulation to feel the same thing. This is tolerance. Neuroscientists studying porn addiction and neuroscientists studying drug addiction are looking at the same brain scans. They just have different filing cabinets. So the pornography content that worked last month doesn't work this month. Your brain filled it under boring and moved on. You need something newer, louder, more extreme. You didn't develop new tastes. Your brain just keeps needing a bigger dose to feel the same thing. Same input, less output, every single time. Your brain is an employee who keeps demanding a raise just to show up. The cruelest part is, this tolerance doesn't stay inside one box. It leaks everywhere. Your whole reward system gets dimmer. Music hits less, food satisfies less, achievements feel hollow. You've essentially turned down the volume on your entire life chasing a sound that keeps getting quieter. And because the decline is gradual, you adapt to each new lower floor thinking it's normal. You don't remember what full volume sounded like. You just know that nothing feels like enough anymore and you can't explain why. Real sex. This is where the science stops being theoretical and starts showing up in embarrassing real-world situations. Your brain has spent weeks or months being trained to respond to a very specific type of stimulus. High definition, perfect lighting, infinite novelty, zero awkwardness, zero effort. Just pure optimized stimulation delivered directly to your eyeballs on demand. Then real intimacy shows up, and real intimacy is none of those things. Real intimacy is dim lighting, wrong angles, someone who snores, a moment that doesn't go perfectly, and a person who is not performing for a camera. Your brain looks at all of that and goes searching for the thing it was trained on. It can't find it, so it doesn't respond the way it should. This is now showing up in doctors' offices as porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Young men, physically healthy, no medical explanation. Fully functional alone but not with another person present. The doctor runs every test and finds nothing wrong, because nothing is wrong with the body. The hardware is fine. The software has been reprogrammed. Doctors used to see this in men over 60. They are seeing it constantly now in men under 30. The screen didn't just change what you watch. It changed what your brain needs in order to feel anything at all. And the deeply uncomfortable irony is that the thing you turn to for connection has made you measurably worse at connecting. Real intimacy requires presence. Real presence requires a brain that hasn't been trained to need something more stimulating than the person right in front of you. Willpower. There is a part of your brain called the prefrontal cortex. It is the adult in the room. It is the part that says maybe not, weighs consequences, thinks about tomorrow, and stops you from making decisions that feel good for 3 seconds and terrible for 3 years. It is the most recently evolved part of the human brain, and it is working very hard every single day to keep you functioning like a person and not a golden retriever in a butcher shop. Chronic porn use weakens it, measurably, visible on brain scans. The same dimming of prefrontal activity seen in cocaine addiction shows up in compulsive porn use. The impulse gets louder. The voice that says stop gets quieter. Every time you override that voice, the next override gets easier. You are not just building a habit, you are literally dismantling the only part of your brain that could have stopped this. And this doesn't stay in one area. A weaker prefrontal cortex means worse decisions across everything. You procrastinate more, you snap at people faster, you abandon things sooner. You pick up your phone when you said you wouldn't. You eat the thing you said you wouldn't eat. You cancel on the person who is counting on you to show up. One habit is quietly downgrading the operating system running every other habit you have. Motivation. Everyone thinks dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It is not. Pleasure is the finish line. Dopamine is what makes you run toward it. It is the engine, the alarm clock, the voice that says that thing over there is worth getting up for. Every goal you ever chased, every project you ever started, every better version of yourself you ever tried to build, all of it ran on dopamine. Without dopamine pointing at something and saying, "Go get that," you sit still. Every time porn collects that dopamine, there is less of it available for anything that actually requires effort. You open your laptop to work and feel nothing. You think about the gym and feel nothing. You look at a project you used to care about and feel nothing. This is not laziness. Lazy implies you have energy and are choosing not to use it. This is an empty tank. You spent the fuel before the day started on porn, and the rest of the day is nothing to work with. Men describe this as a brain fog, a flatness, a sense that nothing is really worth pursuing, but they can't explain why. They're not sad, they're not tired. They're just empty in a way that doesn't have an obvious cause, so they blame everything, and porn never makes the list of suspects. They try new routines, new goals, new environments. Nothing sticks because you cannot fix a motivation problem by adding more targets when you've lost the ability to care. Anxiety. Your brain hates discomfort. The moment anything feels bad, boring, lonely, stressful, or awkward, it starts looking for a way to escape the feeling. Porn is the fastest exit available. Your brain learns this association extremely quickly. Discomfort appears. Brain says you know what fixes this. You agree. Discomfort disappears for a few minutes. Then it comes back louder, now with bonus shame sitting on top of it like an uninvited passenger who also brought luggage. The problem is you never actually dealt with the discomfort. You just muted it temporarily. The original feeling never got processed, never got resolved, never had to be faced. It just went underground and came back at full volume later. Meanwhile, your tolerance for negative emotions has been quietly shrinking because you keep skipping the feelings. Every time you escape a feeling instead of facing it, it gets worse. So now boredom feels unbearable. Silence feels threatening. A mildly stressful email feels catastrophic. You have accidentally trained yourself to be terrible at being a human being in a world that requires you to regularly experience discomfort without immediately self-destructing. Escaping is not calming you down. You are borrowing calm from tomorrow at a very bad interest rate. And one day, tomorrow arrives and the debt is so large that even the escape stops working, and you're left sitting with every feeling you spent years avoiding all at once. Self-image. Everything in pornography is a production. The people are selected, the lighting is engineered, the performance is directed, the reactions are performed. Every single element is optimized specifically to produce maximum arousal in the viewer. It is not a window into reality. It is a window into a fiction designed by professionals who are very good at making fiction feel real. Your brain does not fully understand this distinction while watching. After enough exposure, fiction becomes reference. Reference becomes standard. Standard becomes the lens your brain uses to judge everything real, not consciously. You're not sitting there thinking everyone should look like this. Real bodies start looking different. Real performance starts feeling inadequate. Your own body starts looking wrong. None of this is a conscious decision. Men report body image anxiety, performance anxiety, and a low-level dissatisfaction with real intimacy that they can't quite explain. Women who consume porn report similar distortions in self-perception. The screen built a measuring stick that no real human can reach. Then your brain uses that measuring stick to grade every real human you encounter, including yourself every single day. Nothing is wrong with you. Something is wrong with what you kept watching. You are seeing it through a lens that was carefully, deliberately, and very profitably constructed by professional production to make reality look like a disappointment. Attention. Your attention is a resource. It is also, unfortunately, a muscle that responds to training. And the pornography loop trains it in exactly the wrong direction. Every session is a masterclass in fragmented focus, constant novelty, instant reward, zero delay between wanting something and getting it, zero tolerance for anything that isn't immediately stimulating. Your brain is being taught, repeatedly and thoroughly, that stimulation should be constant, and anything less than constant is a problem to be solved by clicking somewhere else. This training does not stay in one room. It follows you to work, to conversations, to books, to any task that requires sustained attention without immediate payoff. Reading starts feeling slow. Conversations start feeling boring. Deep work starts feeling impossible. Your threshold for abandoning something that requires patience drops lower and lower until you cannot sit with difficulty for more than a few minutes before reaching for your phone. You start 10 things and finish none of them. You sit down to focus and your brain checks out before you even get started. Everything worth having in life is on the other side of sustained attention. The skill you want takes thousands of hours of focused practice. The relationship you want requires thousands of hours of patient, present conversation. The career you want requires years of deep work without guaranteed immediate reward. Focus is not about productivity. It is about whether anything in your life actually gets finished. Train it to sprint for 10 seconds and give up, and that is exactly what it will do with everything you care about. The things you want most in life require the one thing that this porn habit is destroying. So stop watching it.